I was too proud to say, "I'm sorry." I felt it. I just couldn't bring myself to say it out loud. So I stayed quiet. And over time, that silence became a habit. What I didn't see then was this. Every time I stayed quiet, I was teaching her how to live without me. My name is Gerald. I'm 65 years old, and I'm only now sitting in this chair, in a house that feels too big, starting to understand what I cost myself. Margaret and I were married for 22 years. We raised 2 kids, we built something real, and I ruined it. Not with one dramatic moment, not with betrayal or cruelty. I ruined it slowly, quietly, in ways that are hard to point to because there's no single moment you can hold up and say, "That's where it broke." I was the kind of man who was always technically right. In any disagreement, I could find the angle that made me correct. I'd been doing it since I was a boy. My father was the same way. You didn't win arguments with him. You just got tired. The first time Margaret apologized to me, I remember feeling irritated, like she'd ended something that wasn't finished yet. I didn't say that, but I felt it. And I think, over time, she felt it too. She used to apologize for small things. "Sorry, I forgot the milk." "Sorry, I know you didn't want the TV on." Small things. And I'd either say nothing or I'd say, "It's fine," in a way that made it clear it wasn't. There was no real exchange. Just her offering something and me taking it like it was expected. I don't remember when she stopped. I didn't notice it happening. I only realized much later that there came a point where she simply stopped trying to meet me there. The fights we had toward the end weren't really about what they sounded like. They were built on years of small moments. She had been reaching for me for a long time. And I had stayed closed. And I had my own story too. I felt like nothing I did was ever quite enough. 2 people, both feeling unseen, both, but only one of us ever said sorry. She wasn't perfect. There were things she did that hurt me. Real things. But I never said them plainly. Not in a way that opened anything. I'd go quiet. Or I'd bring it up sideways, buried inside some other argument. She could feel something was there, but I never made it reachable. I had buried it and then resented her for not finding it. Our son Daniel was the one who finally said something. He came over about a year after the divorce was finalized. Sat across from me at this table and said, "Dad, do you actually know what happened?" I told him we'd grown apart. He just looked at me and said, "I've never heard you apologize to her, not once." I told him that wasn't true. He said, "Name one time." I couldn't. I didn't sleep much after that. I kept going back over everything, trying to find a moment where I had said I was wrong. "I'm sorry." There were a few half attempts. Things like, "I didn't mean it that way, but that's not the same thing." That's an apology for how it sounded, not for what it was. I called Margaret 3 weeks later. I don't know what I expected. Maybe I thought she'd soften it. Say it was complicated. Say it wasn't all on me. She didn't. She listened. I said I was sorry. She said, "I know." Then after a moment she said, "I just wish it hadn't taken you this long to know that too." She wasn't harsh, just honest. And somehow that made it land harder. I spent 22 years with someone and never made her feel like I was on her side when things went wrong. Even when I was. Even when I loved her completely. She didn't know that because I never said it. There's something in men like me. Maybe men in general. This idea that holding out makes you stronger. That apologizing means you've lost something. I lived like that without ever questioning it. It just felt normal. The house we lived in was sold last spring. Margaret's moved on. From what I hear, she's doing all right. I don't ask too much. What I have now is this. Not an excuse. Not a clear explanation. Just the truth. I was a man who couldn't say he was sorry, and it cost me the best thing in my life. I'm not telling you this to teach you anything. Maybe there's something in it for you. Maybe there isn't, but it's the truth. And I spent too many years being the kind of man who couldn't say true things out loud. I can say them now, It doesn't fix anything, but I can say them.